Okay, so this is going to be a review of what we did so far. Again, for people who missed practice or people just wanted to review. Um, Again, the whole idea of the offense, and I'm going to repeat this every day until practices end, the end of recorded time. The whole key to the offense is getting to the rim and coming up with different ways in a coordinated fashion to get people to the rim. Obviously, the easiest way is to just dribble there. And that's why we do all that work on finishing moves and to make sure that everybody can get to the rim. I want everybody attacking the rim all the time. And we're going to get into more details on how to do that later. But we try to go over different ways, aside from just dribbling to the rim, to also get to the rim in some kind of coordinated fashion. So, I mean, the overall idea, which we went over in all the practices so far, is again, your just basic pass and cut, right? We've been over this before. Just whenever you pass, you just cut right to the basket, and everybody fills these open spots. And every time I do the video, we're going to have to keep reviewing it. And every time that we practice, we just keep on pounding this. It's a tough habit to get into, but once you get into it, you really have a really good offense. And see, everybody's always flowing to the basket. Now, what we started to go over yesterday, I guess in practice too, I guess, were other ways to get to the rim. Let's just say you weren't the person who can just dribble it there. And let's say that you weren't the person who passed and cut. Is there any other way for other people to get to the rim? Now, we can't have just everybody blasting to the rim all over the place because that's not coordinated. So there are other kind of intelligent ways to go about doing it. And we went over two of them yesterday. The first thing we did was we identified something called a puppy cut or a puppy dog cut. And basically the idea is okay, so the normal action is you pass, you cut, and this guy's trying to fill this spot up here. And you see the other people filling as well. Now sometimes what you'll see is your defender just kind of follow you. You know, either they think that you're not going to do anything or they're lazy or whatever it is. So as long as this first cutter is kind of clearing out the middle, we take that as an opportunity for this guy who's being just followed to just blast to the rim. Just like that. You know? I mean, as long as we're going through the motions of cutting and opening up this center, we may as well take advantage of that by sending as many people to the rim as possible. And this kind of puppy dog cut is one real intelligent way to do that. Again, we're just taking advantage of the fact that a lot of defenders just don't play good defense and just follow their guy. Like you see again, see, you know, he's just coming to the top, the two, and this is usually what happens. I wouldn't say usually, but the guy just follows you, and then you just take that opportunity, just blast right to the rim, you know. Um, and you'd be surprised how often this actually works. And if it doesn't, no big deal. We just keep going. What you usually end up getting in the better defensive teams is not guys who are just going to follow you. What you will get is people that kind of overplay. Like sometimes you see the three man just kind of see that his offensive player is just kind of standing out there. So we'll kind of just lunge over the 3 point line to try to get in the passing lane. So rather than stand out there, we take that as an opportunity, as a signal to just blast to the rim. And we went over this in the second practice, the idea that this 3 point line is basically a read line where you can make a read such that if your defender is even one step over that line, it's just kind of an automatic thing that you just, again, just blast right to the rim. So here again, you see normal passing and cutting action, and here instead of the two just being followed by his man, like we had that other example in the the puppy dog cuts. Here, you have the opposite, is where the guy plays too aggressively and tries to get in the passing lane. Well, for us, that's even better because again, once he gets over that read line and we flushed out this middle, again, just automatic basket cut. You know, so this is just another way to just get to the rim, and we just kind of build on these things, and they will become habits after a while. So you know they'll have that normal pass and cut thing. They have it. They're getting pretty close to having that down already. And once they get that down, then all these things kind of come naturally. But you have to give them some guidance. So guys, I mean, players, if you're watching this, again, passing and cutting, very simple. Also, you've watched this read line. If your guy comes right over the read line, you can just take that as opportunity to just blast right to the rim, like here, if he just steps over it, or if you're filling, and he steps over it, you just blast right there, and you have this constant flow of pressure on the basket. I guess what I'll finish with is, I guess, kind of extra credit. These are things that we're going to go over in the next practice. For those of you that want to kind of look ahead and think ahead, or if you know you're not going to be at the next practice, you can get a head start on this. Is the kind of the last two bits of the foundation of this offense, and the two other ways you can kind of get to the rim. But this one makes a little bit of sense. What we've been doing so far is basically just people standing on the outside and passing and cutting. But the reality is once you make that cut and you get to the rim, I mean, you don't have to fill out. I mean, we want people to be able to post up. And some people, we might actually start them out in the posts. We're not going to necessarily start with all 5 players on the perimeter, although we might. So the idea is, even with a post player in here, this pass and cut thing is very, very powerful. Like, I'll give you an example. So this guy came and posted up, and he got the feed from the wing. 3 gave him the ball. So I guess my question to you guys is, when the 3 passed to the 1, that was a pass 1 pass away, right? So we know our general rule for all passes when you pass 1 pass away is you have to make a basket cut. So why should that change just because you're feeding it to the post? I mean, as a matter of fact, when you feed it to the post, making this cut to the basket is a very, very powerful move. It gives the opportunity for the post guy to dish it off to you, to hand it off to you, and this is an incredible way to play. Like the Lakers, when won 6 championships doing this with Shaq, they would feed the ball down to him, and when anybody fed to him, it was automatic. They would just basket cut. They actually call these things Laker cuts, and when we refer to them, we're going to refer to them as Laker cuts. So look what happens. Okay, so he gets to the rim, and let's say he doesn't feel like filling out. He wants to post up. All right, so he gets the feed. Automatic basket cut, right? It's a pass 1 pass away. He might be able to find him for a layup, you know? He gets out of there, and again, let's say the 1 feels like posting up. He wants to go to the high post. You know, he gets the ball. Why not cut to the rim? Give it a chance. Same thing, all right? 4 wants to post up at the high post. Go ahead. And we're going to drill these Laker cuts, and these Laker cuts are incredible ways for people to get easy layups, incredible ways for the post people to get a lot of assists, and it, again, helps a constant flow of players to the rim. So we're going to do that in the next practice. And if we have time, then the final thing we'll get to in the next practice about how to get to the rim is something called a dribble at. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. I mean, you see sometimes people are playing, and this guy at the top just has the ball and doesn't exactly know what to do. Like, he can't exactly get the ball to the rim, and he can't exactly pass to someone. Everybody's playing good defense, and he just starts dribbling at people, you know, starts dribbling along the side. Well, rather than, you know, everybody get mad at him for just dribbling along the side, we could treat that as an automatic signal to do something good, which is what? Which is get to the rim. So the rule here that we're going to teach is that when anybody dribbles at you, let's say the 1 dribbles at the 3, for example, it's again a sign to automatically cut to the basket. You know, maybe the 3 is being overplayed and forgot to cut when his defender was over the read line. The rule is if somebody dribbles at you, again, just get to the rim. Sorry, we're going to see how that kind of plays. So here he's going to dribble at this guy now, and he cuts. Everybody fills. He dribbles at this guy, and he cuts. He dribbles at this guy, and he cuts. You can keep dribbling at people and keep sending them to the rim. Constant flow of pressure. And then eventually, maybe some guy will be open. You know? The only risk you run with this is over-teaching. In other words, teaching them way too much. And there are actually 17 layers to this offense, and we're not going to get through them. All right? We're going to get through these. Once you get through the next practice, we're going to be through layer 3, and maybe we'll get through layer 4 by the whole year. You know, it's not so much about teaching them too many things. It's about teaching them simple things like this and just drilling it and drilling it and drilling it. So again, kids, if you're watching this, a lot of this just makes kind of sense. The more people you send to the rim in an organized fashion, the better. But here we're giving you kind of tools to do it. Whether you just either dribbling there, or passing and cutting there, or seeing if someone just puppy dogs you and follows you, then you automatically cut there. Or if someone steps over the 3-point line, he's denying you, may as well cut to the rim. Or as we'll get to next week, if somebody dribbles at you, what are you going to do? Just stand and let them run into you? No, you'll get to the rim. And let's say, you feed the post. What are you going to do? Just stand out there and just hope he passes it back to you? No, get to the rim. So that's kind of a summary of what we did at the last practice and a preview of the next one as far as the offense goes. We did a couple of defensive drills as well, which we are going to start building up at the next practice also. I guess that's it. See you next week.